Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of returning to the show, introducing the one and only Loco Lobo, Allan Roque. Allan, what's going on, my man?
Not much, dude. Just moving forward in this fight world as much as I can with what's going on, and I just got some big news about a fight coming up, and just got my blood boiling, and I'm ready to go.
So, I mean, let's talk about it, man. Like, obviously, you know, fights are hard to come by, especially within the last year or so, or what have you. So, man, how did this come about, and where's it going?
I actually got reached out to. I did some cast netting for looking for fights and stuff, just putting my name here and there, and actually got a response and a request from this guy named Armando Gonzalez. And he's actually a producer for the Rize company. And he said they're looking for hungry fighters, and they want somebody that's wanting to go the distance, like fight career-wise, and not have these, as he said, let's see what happened fighters. And, yeah, so it just, fell into my lap. And it actually worked out really well because I actually left North Carolina, so there's some big news there. I left North Carolina due to some personal reasons. So... yeah. It's all right. Nothing bad. Just had to move on out of there. But sucked leaving my gym, Atlantic MMA. I miss them a lot, and we talk every now and then. But moving down to Palm Beach Gardens, which is where I am now in Florida, actually opened this up for me. So it's like that saying, one door closes, another one opens up for you. So I'm actually happy right now where I am and with what's going on.
I mean, that's literally and figuratively, right? Where, you know, it's not just a euphemism for you made that happen, right? And right now it's crazy. I know Las Vegas is the fight capital of the world. A lot of fight gyms and fights were happening in California, and that obviously was before March of last year. But Florida, I wouldn't be hard pressed to think that is the fight capital of the world. 2020 and 2021. That's the site of very first UFC post, kind of COVID restrictions and everything. That's where it happened. And it kind of gave birth to Fight Island. It gave birth to, it's at the Apex facility.
It's definitely more live down here, that's for sure. Like the boxing and all that stuff down here is alive.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, how long have you been in Florida?
Actually, January 1st was the day I arrived, so it's track of. So I'm thinking of it like 2021 is the year where all the fun starts. So 2020 kind of put a pause on me and everyone else's lives. So I'm going in 2021 happy, positive, and ready to go. And I got a fight coming up this early, so it's cool. Better than no fights from 2020. I mean, I got one, but
Yeah, no, 100%. And our good friend, big brother.
What's up?
Newborn, I got that there.
Newborn.
So, there you go. Let Rafael Newborn Morale says, "We got your back, brother. You got love and support." So it's nice to know. Nice to know. But I mean, this presents a whole new set of, I guess, I don't know. And we just talked to Denise Hull, who moved from Georgia to Florida, and man, it seems like Florida is becoming the place where everybody is flocking here.
That's what I was thinking when I was watching that last interview. I was like, "Oh, Florida, what part? Oh, what? Okay, I might go say hi to somebody here. Thanks to you, Mr. Woods." Oh. But no, it's definitely Florida is definitely a lot more alive. Like I said in our last interview with North Carolina, they're dead, bro. Like there's nothing going on. My gym up in North Carolina is actually holding events in South Carolina because there's no boxing action in North Carolina. No, there's what can you do with that? Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you literally can't, but I mean, you do have this fight coming up in March, which is absolutely cool, to which friend of the show, Keisha Williams, says good luck on your fight.
Thank you.
Shout out.
Appreciate that.
So, I mean, obviously, I mean, you did you have ties in Florida? Like, what was the prompting? You know, without getting too much into like the personal stuff, but you know, moving from one state to another that can be arduous, and especially
Yeah.
for in the light of a fighter. You know, getting rounds. You know, we talked to Denise, who's a black belt, right, and she still
Right.
had to fight the gym. You know, so I mean, did you have any connects in Florida?
I do have a word of mouth that I'm going by right now, which is Palm Beach Boxing Academy in Palm Beach Gardens, of course. And yeah, I am going through a transitionary phase right now. I'm still going hard with my training. I am going to say that I need to get into a gym that I'm going to be comfortable with. I've tried a couple of gyms, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't like to bash gyms, but they were too commercial for me. So it was kind of like everybody stand in line and, 45 minutes of this and then, go home. I'm like, that's not going to work for me. I need like 4 hours a day of intense training and, like face to face, hands on hand, fist to face, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm looking for a gym still, but I've actually gotten 2 recommendations for Palm Beach Boxing. So as soon as I get the time to get over there, I'm definitely going to hit them up and see what they have to say.
And is that where you are, like West Palm Beach area, or?
Yeah, I'm actually Palm Beach Gardens. It's like 10, 15 minutes north of West Palm Beach. So it's a pretty big hub in Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. And the weather is a little bit different than Carolina at this time of year, right? Isn't it?
Oh, dude, I was so happy the week after I moved here, it snowed in North Carolina. I was like, haha, motherfuckers, I'm out. I don't like snow, dude. Snow's not fun for me. A lot of people want to go out and play in it. I'm like, I'm going to sit here and Netflix and chill, bro. I'm cool.
No, I mean that's one of the reasons why I've stayed in California, despite the exorbitant taxes and everything like that. I'm also looking out, but everywhere else in the union, aside from Hawaii, pretty much you get snow. Like people are like, oh, why don't you do Vegas? I mean, I like kind of your style because Florida is a no tax state, no state tax at all, which
nice
helps, right?
Yeah, it does.
So the closest
makes those paychecks better.
Exactly. So the closest no tax state or tax free state to me is Nevada, but Nevada snows.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
it's like, nah, I'm good, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So again, was the fight kind of proposed to you? You know, like where did he see it? Because obviously, you know, the gym in Carolina and nothing is going on in North. You would have to have word of mouth from South, you know. But also one of the other things is now, from the last time we talked, I mean, you have an agent now.
I do. I actually have an agent with Compass Sports Management. His name is Ken Johannesburg. He's actually helping me out and giving me advice and stuff like that. He's a good guy, and so it's kind of cool having a manager look out for you. He stuck with me through the little personal endeavor I went through, so that was cool. He was like, "Need anything? I'm here." I'm like, "I'm good, dude." You know, shit happens. You just move on. So you don't just wallow in shit. You get out of it. That's what I always say. So he's a good guy. I like his company and what he stands for, and he's got other fighters that I've spoken to and asked advice and stuff like that on what they had to do to get through this little hurdle or whatever that I've come up against. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool being in a team like that.
Which, I mean, that's kind of cool to get love from your former gym, to have a professional representation. I mean, that's cool, and it's new, right?
Yeah, I used to do the lone wolf thing before, where I just did it all on my own. I didn't have anybody really in my corner. I had a gym I went to, but that was my gym, and I always would like go out on my own. But having like support and people actually looking out for your best interests and stuff like that, telling you no when you want to do something that you probably shouldn't, or overtrain or have questions about. It's always good to have somebody to bounce your thoughts off of and not just have them rattling around in your own head.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, I mean, now what is moving from, everything that you kind of knew and love, kind of enter into a new state, not really much to go by, other than, handshake deals and word
Right.
of mouth. I mean, do you feel a bit empowered that you kind of, I mean, you said that you kind of got away from the lone wolf and getting a manager and everything like that. And also, that is kind of a lone wolf type tactic where you essentially kind of go on your own. You know, you flee
True.
from the pack.
Yeah, definitely old habits die hard. It's just, what am I trying to say here? It's just different now. You go through changes and stuff like that. Like I used to be like, it's all me. I'm gonna make it, just me. I'm gonna be here because I did it. But it's actually not a sign of weakness, as some would think, to reach out your hand and be like, "Yo, can you help me up?" Or what's the best course of action to take from here on, and not just go off on your own and do your own thing.
Yeah, no, and but that's stuff that you're not going to learn unless you do it yourself, right?
True.
You could, and you don't, especially as a young fighter, you don't want to look back and regret. I should have, would have, could. And again, you're kind of, forced in a position when your home state doesn't have going on.
Yeah.
You're like, I gotta do something. Not getting any younger.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it was sort of like a cosmic thing where it just happens to be that I come to Florida and then literally 2 weeks later a fight falls in my lap. And I do like to credit it to my efforts and stuff like that. I'm not going to say it just fell in my lap, but like I did put in time, work, energy, effort, blood, sweat. My nose is crooked now. It wasn't this shape last year. So, I got a new facial feature to thank my career for. And so, no, it's like, it's getting real, is what I'd like to say. Like I'm starting to feel new pressure and new stuff that I didn't feel quite before, because it was mostly just talk, like I'm not going to say, I will admit and say that I was like, let's just see what happened fighter. But now it's kind of getting to that point where it's tangible and like I can see myself becoming one of the best out there. Like that's my goal. Like I don't want to half-ass and be like you said, look back at my youth and be like, oh, I wasted all that opportunity and energy I had then. And I'm going to be a 45-year-old fighter saying, I should have done that. I want to be the 45-year-old fighter saying, this is what I did. And, if you want to follow this track, you might get here too.
Yeah, absolutely. To which Rafael Morel says, you'll never be alone, brother. I will always be in your corner. That's got to be nice.
Oh, yeah. No, dude, me and Rafael go way back. I know he's got my back. Like, all I got to do is call him up and be like, dude, yada, yada, yada. What's up?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, in preparation for the fight, right? Obviously, you're not at a gym yet, right? So, is that something? I mean, we're still. I mean, we're on the dying days of January 2021, right? Going into February. So you've got a month to kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something when you do land in a gym? Are you looking for those folks to corner you, or like what is the mindset behind that?
I would like to have, like, I'm not trying to make it a big point right now to join a gym because I don't want to take away focus from actual training. I got to get in this gym, Oh, forgot to train. Whoops. So, like, I'm kind of letting it happen as it goes. Like I said, I'm going to do the Palm Beach Boxing Academy. I'm probably going to end up sticking with them because I've heard some good things that, makes me smile. So, but I'm taking it as a challenge, like, in those video games, you get a challenge or like a negative disadvantage that you got to overcome to reach the next level. That's what I feel like I'm going through right now. Because I could sit here and be like, oh, I don't have a gym, I shouldn't do this, put a pin in my own plans. And then, like you said, a year from now, I'm like, why the fuck didn't I just take the fight? Like, it's a fight.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, in terms of like your training now, are you kind of using the rubric that you had at your previous gym in North Carolina and using that as like the game plan right now? Because it brought you success, your last out.
I'm definitely using what I learned from Atlantic MMA and taking like I got the classes in my head. Like I know how we start up, warm up, go hit the bag. I know the cardio circuit, so I know that got me to where I am now, and I'm pretty comfortable with it. So I'm not going to just be like, throw that to the wayside. I'm going to stick with what I know and improve upon that as I go. So that rhymed. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, 100%. Which Raphael says, "I'll work your corner." So just saying.
Oh, come on down, buddy. You know where I am.
There it is. So obviously, this fight coming up. Obviously, you began it and said that this is something with like big implications, right? So, I mean, what do you feel like this opportunity will present you, kind of going forward, should you win?
Actually, it has the capability of opening the door to like top tier competition levels, like UFC status, all that, dude. Like, well, me and this guy Armando, we talked for about 15-20 minutes about where I'm going with my career. Like, he picked my thoughts, my brain, and I basically laid it out for him. I'm going as far as my body will take me, and my soul's going to go even farther. But like, I want this. I'm hungry. Like, I put everything to the side for it. I'm going to get it. Like, it's just a matter of time and energy and, patience.
No, 1,000%. Which, and that's cool because not just, you have your home gym in your corner, you have, the love of, I mean, essentially the promoter and then management. Like that's got to be good to know, and it's quite different from your last one, which was, I mean, it was an amateur fight, right? Your last one?
Yeah, my last fight is amateur.
So, I mean, I guess, would this next one be pro or is it still amateur?
No, see, this is where I like this guy because he could have thrown me in and be like, let's just go pro. But he was like, let me get you 2 to 3 more fights. You win those fights and I'll get you a pro contract. And I was like, deal, dude. Like, all right, if you're going to believe in me, I'll believe in your production. I give and I take and, I try to keep it on the level. So, like, it will, if I win 3 fights with this guy, and we've talked about the opponents. Like, it wasn't like, oh, well, you got to face this guy, which is also kind of fishy because there should be more than one opponent you could choose from. He gave me 3. So I'm looking at 3 right now to choose from. So I'm like, this seems legit. Like, usually it's one and done, like either beat him or you can't. And that's usually what my experience is, but the fight world has been thus far. So, like, I can tell there's a different tempo with what's going on here. He said there's exposure, like it's going to be on, I can't remember the app right now, but he said it was an app where it's going to be like MMA Live, and then he's like, there's pay-per-view opportunities. So there's lots of exposure opportunities. I'm sure there's going to be YouTube Live event for it and everything. So it's just like here's the window. Everybody look at me. I'm right here.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad deal. So, I mean, that's because usually that's kind of different from most promoters, where they really want, like, if you're not worth the buck, they're not going to take a chance on you. But still seeing that you needed to improve on certain things, but there was a spark, right?
Yeah, there was definitely a spark in our conversation.
Yeah, so again, it's not a bad place to be in.
Yeah. So, like, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This next fight, I'm claiming the dub already because it's like I feel like nothing can stop me right now. Like, I don't know how it's like ethereal, surreal, whatever you want to talk about, but I can feel it. Like something telling me, you got this, get it, go for it. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy. I'm not gonna predict how I'm gonna win yet because the fight's just a talk right now. But like, I'm ready, dude. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like antsing out of my seat right now, ready to get it.
No, I can tell. Which also, new location, right? It's a new crop of opponents, right? Where you kind of got almost, I mean, nothing against the Carolinas fight scene, but I mean, it was kind of scorched earth in terms of like, what you can do. And again, you have to travel to another state just to get it, and the experience that you told last time, like you and Raphael and like, there was a litany of you guys that, traveled down and, people would fall out and everything like that. A new crop of opponents and even training partners means there's going to be a new look to your game and a new kind of look to your goals that you set upon yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely ready to adapt. Like I can, with the gyms that I did attend, one of them in particular, they had a good team there. Like I could tell that there was a difference in how they did things. Like I don't know, with just jiu-jitsu, which is something that I've picked up again. I'm not very good at it, but I'm getting there. My ground game definitely needs some improvement. So hint, hint, opponent. But no, but I could tell like the way that they went about their techniques and stuff like that were different. Like the way they would slide into side guard or how they get into side saddle versus how I would up north. Like it's just like a dialect, with language. Like somebody will sound like, they're from New York and then somebody's from South Carolina. They talk the same language, it's just a little bit different. So that's kind of how I can compare that from North Carolina to Florida. But the level of competition was definitely a lot higher too. Like you said it yourself, the fight world is coming to Florida, and there's a lot of hitters down here, definitely.
Yeah, I mean a lot of top. Look no further than Sanford MMA. You've got American Top Team. I mean, there's just all around Florida, and those are just the names that right? And that's with California when people are like, "Oh, these are great gyms and everything like that." And yeah, you can rattle off a Black House or Ruka or some of the top level CSW or whatever. But there's so many other gyms here. I mean, they're producing, and that was one of the cool things when live fights were still going on here, was being able to see, a North County San Diego gym that I've never heard of. And like they have 8 people on this amateur card and all of them 8 wins from by finish it, and it's just like, whoa, where's this? I need to know more.
What are they learning there? Like
yeah. So I mean, and is that because
sorry, I got a little lag on my computer.
No worries. But you were talking about obviously looking into a boxing gym, but is getting the grappling kind of dialed in? Was that something that is in your sights as well?
Yeah. I once upon a time in my very early career, I used to be good at ground. Like ground was something like I was like, we're going to the ground, we're going to the ground. Like I said in the last interview, I did do the hiatus thing, so I've got my hands and my feet back. They're back. My speed is back. All that footwork, they're back. Now it's time to get back on the ground and figure out how I did what I used to do. Because it's so frustrating knowing that you could do something, but you got to relearn how to do it. It's like relearning how to ride a bike. Like you never thought you would have to, but sometimes you got to. So it's like I used to be able to pull off triangles, arm bars, omoplatas, gogoplatas, all that stuff. And now I'm like, I know if I twist my hip this way, something's supposed to happen. Oh, he done reversed me.
It happens, but
I'm going to work on my grappling, definitely, for sure.
Well, just like you said, it's like learning a different language. It's the subtle nuances, right? Where you can distinguish somebody from Texas or Maine or California even, Like I remember the first time that I went to see my dad's family in like New Albany, Mississippi, and they were like, "You talk funny."
What do you call that? A pot? What is a pot?
Yeah, I mean, like again, and going from literally Inglewood to New Albany, Mississippi, a pop is completely different in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, definitely.
Pop. That's what that meant. Pop, bam, pop, pop, pop.
Pop. Yeah, basically, like, don't be saying that word around here. What's wrong with you? I just want to pop. No, you don't.
You don't want none. You don't want none of this. Yeah, but I mean, they were like, oh, and again, it's New Albany, Mississippi, right? Yeah. They're like, talk funny. This is knobbly. We is her. And again,
oh my gosh,
what my cousins in translation said is, we're in New Albany. We are here. You talk funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, Southern ideals, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, in terms of this management, right? Like, that's something that you were trying to kind of get yourself in place, right? So how much, as somebody that had done it your own way, how much is like having a leadership team behind you meant to you, that you could just focus on the task at hand and getting good training and being able to move and all of this stuff. That's got to be like so. I mean, you're thinking so much clearer now.
It's definitely a load off because, like you said, I can focus more on actually training, not worrying about where my training is going to lead me to. So it's been nice. He's been throwing me fight offers and stuff like that. He had one for me in Pennsylvania, but that fell through because of the boxing commission up there. So, he's actually been trying, and that's something that, not a lot of people are doing with the COVID thing because, they're like, COVID, bro, what do you want me to do about it? So it's nice to see people out there grinding, still trying to get things moving for this business and stuff like that. And it's been a load off my mind, because it's always there, like, where am I going? What am I doing? And it's nice to have somebody that you can trust to be like, this is what's happening. Take my word for it. And, you can. And he hasn't let me down yet. So he keeps it up. We'll probably have a longer relationship.
That works. That absolutely works. So shout out to them. Who are they, by the way?
Combat Sports Management under Ken Johannesburg.
Shout out to Combat Sports Management. That's really cool to do. Now I gotta ask, right? I mean, going from North Carolina to Florida, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you miss about North Carolina?
Bojangles. The last Bojangles that I stopped at on my way to Florida, because I knew that this was going to be a thing, was in St. Augustine. And I was like, this is it. I'm going to get me a 10-piece Supreme with some biscuits and gravy, and I'm going to say goodbye. I miss Bojangles. But also I like the it not being so flat. Like Florida's flat, dude. You just look one way, you probably look all the way down to the end of Florida if there wasn't any trees in the way. But the horizon's different. I actually saw a sunset here. That was pretty nice. It was like bright red, so that was a nice sunset. I think Florida's got North Carolina sunsets beat. And then what else is there? North Carolina. I like their mountains. Like I said, I'm more of a mountain guy. I'm gonna probably go through some mountain withdrawal here in a little bit. And then I miss my people, that's for sure. You can't replace that. I miss my people up there. I miss my gym. I did go through a little depression, like 3-4 day depression of separation and stuff like that. I'm like, all that effort, all that time, I wish I was there. They've actually had a fight, a point competition fighting a couple weekends ago, and I was like, I could have been in that, like, going on that FOMO thing. And but yeah, it's good either way. I mean, Florida, definitely, I've been fishing here a lot more, so that's a plus for me. And I'm a hell of a fisherman. Like, you could catch me fishing or fighting. Like, you could bet money. Like, he's either fishing or fighting.
That works. Well, so you got to explain to those who are not inclined, what is this Bojangles? Because the only reason why I know Bojangles is because I think AEW, right? They had a tribute show for a wrestler who had passed away, John Huber, better known as Brody, aka Luke Harper, in the WWE, right? And there was a moment where right around, like, they had to shoot like 4 weeks of TV right at the beginning of COVID, and they basically got everyone Bojangles, right? And
oh my God, so happy.
And then Brody was all like, "Hey, kid, I bought you lunch," and he basically took all the shine for himself. Like, I bought you lunch. But that's his way of saying, like, hey, and when he was in the WWE, you went to catering, right? And like, let me buy you lunch. It was already covered by the company, but that was his kind of like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right? So what's Bojangles?
Bojangles is like the staple of the South. Like, anybody that I know, when you say, do you want KFC? They look at you funny. I'm like, you meant Bojangles, right? I'm like, oh yeah, what was I thinking? Bojangles. Bojangles is good. Like, I don't know what they do. I wouldn't be surprised if, like Kevin Hart said, they put crack in their shit. Dude, there's something about their chicken to where, like, you wait in that line, like the line could be wrapped around, and you're not even thinking about the weight. You're thinking about that juicy chicken that you're about to eat. Like, their fries are good. They got that seasoning on point. Like, it's so good you can't mess it up. Like, it's simple food, but you can't mess it up. So it's good. It's got they got spicy Cajun, all that stuff. I'll get me a 3-piece, like a thigh, leg, and wing, some deal like that. If I'm not cutting weight, I'm definitely I'm in Bojangles line. Like I'll probably the week after I'm cutting, I'll be in a Bojangles line, like eating the hell out of it.
Wow. Which I gotta, it's funny because the closest analogy that I could make in terms of like chicken, right? We have, well, just in Southern California, we've got Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and that has it's infamous. Like, I mean, people know it. They talk about it in movies and shows and everything. But the only like establishment that we have day in, day out, from opening to close, that have lines at every location wrapped around the location is In-N-Out.
I had a feeling you're going to say In-N-Out.
That's it.
In-N-Out. Yeah, when I was in California and Washington, I remember going to In-N-Out a few times. Everybody would always say In-N-Out, In-N-Out, and I would say, "Yeah, I wish you guys knew about Bojangles." And they're like, "What is Bojangles?" And they just don't even give it the time of day. I was like, "You don't know what you're missing."
Which I almost like one to the put in the Google machine, like what's the closest Bojangles to me, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna get St. Augustine, Florida too.
Probably Texas. Maybe I can probably see a Bojangles in Texas, and that's like on the east border.
Yeah, which I gotta ask, right? Because we're on this food topic, right? I mean, not to go too much into it because you are actively cutting weight, so I apologize for asking the question, but I think you prompted it, right? So
yeah,
in terms of what are some of the, I guess you would say, the Southern staples of, like, I don't know, whether it be fast food or otherwise. Like, I mean, do you guys have a Whataburger, or is that just in Texas?
We do have a Whataburger.
Okay.
They're far and few between, but we do have a Whataburger. We have a Whataburger in Troutman, North Carolina, which is in between going to Charlotte and Statesville. So there's a Whataburger on the way. Some other staples, we got Boxcar Grill. I know that one. That one's a good one to go to late at night. That's like a kind of like a younger teenager, sort of young adult crowd and stuff like that. So that's a fun place to go to. And then what else do we got? I don't know. I think we don't really have any.
You have Raising Cane's? Is that a thing?
I've heard of them, but I don't think I think Bojangles has got them pretty much figured out.
So I do it like, so I don't compare, right? I like what I like, right? So in terms of, like, even like vegan food, there's some vegan food that it tastes awesome. The Impossible Burger is awesome. I don't compare it to a regular burger. I just have it. It's its own thing. Like, I eat Thai food, eat vegan one day and whatever, and we'll all call the whole thing off, right? But I like to compare because, again, you kind of ruin the experience. But again, if I'm going to take your word on it, right? Bojangles is as good, right? So I don't know anything else that could compare. Like, I mean, if you did like Nashville hot chicken, I mean, would that be able to compare? Because that's another thing that, I mean, even during COVID, we have what they call ghost kitchens, right? Where you know what that is, right?
Yeah, it's when they're cooking, but it's like delivery only and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, literally, it takes probably about 90 minutes to get Nashville hot chicken, even with delivery, out of a ghost kitchen.
That's how freaking good they are, though, I guess. I mean, they got backlogs on orders. They're not going broke.
Yeah, it's crazy to see. And some of them here in LA are just like, they're tense with the fryer and whatever.
Really? You got the outdoor thing going?
That's the only thing that can happen. I mean, it was just,
Oh, I do remember seeing that. They had like the laws and stuff. They found a way to get around it. They made everything outside, and like all the bars and stuff are outside too, like beer gardens.
Well, that actually just because for, I want to say, all of December, right? Like right around November when our COVID numbers started to spike, they took all of that away.
They did?
So we just got it back like last week is, outdoor dining again. Which,
oh, man.
Yeah. But then again, Target is open. So what are we doing?
I know. Actually, I went and picked up my brother from in December before Christmas from November. Sorry, forgive me. And yeah, we did the whole outdoor dining experience and stuff like that. And we went to Target. Target was wide open, but everything else was like, don't come here.
Which, I mean, Joe Rogan put it pretty simply. Now, obviously, different places have different protocols on what they constitute as outdoor dining.
Yeah.
But if you're out in the atmosphere and you've got a roof, whether that be a tent, whether that be an awning or whatever, it's no longer outdoor dining.
Now you're covered. You don't see the sky, you're not outdoors. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Might as well just be like windows, like panoramic window. That's basically what you're working with there. No, Joe's a wise man. He's smart ass as fuck, but he's wise.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is the GOAT. He's the
he is. I can't help but listen.
Yeah, one of the greatest podcasters of all time, one of the greatest commentators of all time, one of the best comedians, one of my favorite comedians of all time, right?
So, yeah, he don't take no shit either. That's what I like about him.
You know, so, but I mean, it's crazy. I'm actually gonna shit on Brendan Schaub because if not for Brendan Schaub, crack streams wouldn't be taken down. And here's the thing: before anybody gets on this guy, here's the deal. The narrative that the UFC kept to put out and saying like, oh, if you buy an $80 pay-per-view during a pandemic and you lost your job, you're taking out of the mouths of the fighters. You're taking out away from the pockets. Now, it's absolutely true with Rize. Go and order Rize. Go and support them. Subscribe to their YouTube channel.
Do it.
Yeah, everything, right? Like BKFC, all of the other, you know, not in UFC, right? Even Bellator, right?
Yeah.
If Bellator has something, they're not on the level of the UFC, right? They're owned by Viacom, yes, but I mean it's a little bit better. But your viewing patronage is what gets them to the dance, right? These promotions, so they can have cards to promote fighters such as yourself, right? But
you got no followers, you got no excitement. So
exactly. But here's the thing with the UFC. They made all the money. They're putting, like, there wasn't I think there might have been 2 weekends from July to end of December or mid-December, the last December card. There was only 2 Saturdays where they didn't have fights.
Yeah. No, they got it. The UFC, they got it, dude. Whatever. You cannot take them down. They're too big to fail. Even COVID couldn't stop them.
COVID can't stop, won't stop, man. And, Dana White will tell you that himself, you know?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not stopping. Like, I'll make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, so I might have Patreon crack streams and whatever. Brendan Schaub with 1 million+ followers and whatever, and former UFC fighter himself, former NCAA football player and whatever. He goes on a tangent on crack streams, and that's the first thing that Dana White took down. And I'm like, and I unsubscribed from Fighter and the Kid right that day. I'm just
shouldn't have done that, man. Shouldn't have done that.
But he was crapping on Takeshi 6ix9ine when he was snitching, calling him a rat and all that, whatever. But
dude. Yeah, the kettle calling someone black, huh?
That's it, you know. Which, I mean, Lucas Seltzer says Allan is the man.
What's up, brosu? That was my workout buddy in Atlantic MMA.
Shout out to Atlantic MMA, man. And shout out to you, Lucas. I appreciate you for joining us. But, dude, there's been a litany of people that have helped you along the way. So let's get some shout outs out of the way.
All right. Disclosure, I'm probably going to forget somebody, so I'm going to get that out of the way. All right, so let's see. Rafael, Newborn Morel, thank you for your support. You know, we're fighting brothers, so anytime I'm down, he picks me up. If he's down, I pick him up. Just how it works. Atlantic MMA, thank you for your time, your energy, and all that you've done for me. Lucas, thanks for working out with me and helping me with my gains and stuff like that. Brothers, we actually do that Arnold Schwarzenegger accent while we're lifting. It's funny as hell. Probably annoying to everyone else, but, you know. Who else is there? Thanks, Armando Gonzalez, for the opportunity to fight in your up and coming promotions at Rize. You guys need to tune in. It will be available on pay-per-view. Who else is there? I'm going to go ahead and say thanks for the patience and understanding of my girlfriend, because she is always, Haley Wright, if y'all don't know, she is always, in my corner, somebody that's been there for me and been pushing me, and is actually asking me more than I wonder if I'm going to train. So it's awesome. She's always like, so are you going to train? And I'm like, yes, I am. Let me personally thank Leslie Steiner and her, I'm going to call her husband, Mr. Staney, for helping me out, finding a gym and finding a new family up north. And thank you for your understanding for when I had to break the news that I had to leave. So I was nervous about that. You guys made me feel welcome to come back still. I appreciate it. So, that means a lot to me. Fucking shout out to myself for getting shit done, bro. Like, I'm excited. If I forgot you, you know me, I'm fucking airheaded sometimes. I love you all the same. You can cuss me out after the show. Oh, manager. See, man? See, that's why you're here. Thank you, Combat Sports Management, for your help. Ken Jonesberg, thank you for your time and patience and goodwill towards me. Thank you for accepting me into the fight community that you're in. And, keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep doing what I do.
I love it, man. So for those who want to follow the Rize and see what you're keeping on doing, good sir, where can they find Loco Lobo, Allan Roque, on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. It is all Loco Lobo MMA. So if you want to see me, see what I'm doing, catch up with what I'm doing, I'll be dropping facts, updates, bullshit, funny stuff, whatever. If you want to see what's going on in my life, just hit me there.
There it is. Follow him. And again, thank you guys for joining us here at According to Woods. Thank you, Allan, for joining us here. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and follow him at Loco Lobo MMA everywhere. And I'm going to encourage him to get a Twitter too. So there you go. And thank you guys for joining us here. And if you haven't already done so, I warmly encourage you to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on Twitter. Oh, I mean, it's on Twitter, right? But YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And that's pretty much it. So you guys are the real MVPs. Thank you for pushing this thing along. And we will see you soon. This has been According to Woods, and we're out.
Mi gente, you already know who it is.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to